Good afternoon, everyone. For Malaysia, transforming public transport is a key agenda for the government. But unfortunately, this is only a recent phenomena. Only about 3 to 4 years ago, after realizing that in order to achieve our bigger national agenda, which is Vision 2020, to become a fully developed nation by then, to become from middle-income economy to a high-income economy, this requires mobility to be sorted out along the way. So over the last 20 years, the focus has always been about moving cars. As a result, nationally, we have about 11 million vehicles registered nationally, as well as 9 million motorcycles for a country of about 30 million people. So this has created a need for a massive network of roadways and expressways, which we have built. But unfortunately, the demand keeps growing, and we are adding about 500,000 new vehicles every single year. There's a limit to how many more highways we can build. So in the last 4 years, the realization is that we have to shift policy direction as well as money from investing in roads and private vehicles towards public transport. And this is where the push to create a single agency came about. So 2 years ago, by an act of parliament, our organization was born, the Land Public Transport Commission, to spearhead this transformation. So it's not been easy. Let me just give a bit of a current situation in Kuala Lumpur, KL. We now have about 6 million people in population, 2 million of which live around or within the city limit in KL. About 2 to 3 million live outside but commute every day towards the city center. And based on current estimate, the modal split between public transport and private is about 15% public transport and 85% private. And this has created massive congestion every single day and threatening our ability to create Kuala Lumpur as an attractive city, as a livable city, to create the attraction for professionals and new economic activities to come to KL. And massive improvements have been planned. For now, that 15% that commute by public transport, let me just give you the current options that they have. For urban rail, we have 5 lines totaling 280 kilometers of tracks. This includes 2 heavy commuter lines, 2 light rail transit lines, as well as 1 monorail. Despite this limited network coverage and integration points, these services carry about 500,000 passenger trips every single day. For buses, KL is served by 14 companies or operators, running about 2,000 buses, carrying about equal number of 500,000 passengers a day. However, due to lack of bus lanes and comprehensive route planning, these services are a bit problematic in terms of reliability and efficiency. For taxis, we have about 37,000 vehicles serving KL and surrounding suburbs. However, due to low fares and lack of enforcement, these taxis are very unpopular among locals as well as tourists alike. So moving forward, we have drafted a public transport master plan for Greater KL Klang Valley area. And many initiatives identified can be grouped into 4 basic strategies. First is about no surprise, infrastructure and capacity building. These are physical capacity. Second is about regulatory strengthening. Third is about service excellence. And fourth, the most difficult part, is about collaborative planning and governance. So on the first one, for infrastructure and capacity build-up, we are on the verge of building our first MRT line. So line 1 will run about 51 kilometers from the northwest to the southeast, running through the city center. This is about to start construction next year. We expect it to be completed by 2017. We are also conducting feasibility studies for lines 2 and 3. For our light rail transit systems, we are extending those tracks, as well as increasing capacity. We're buying new cars, doubling in terms of capacities and reducing headways. We have also identified 12 corridors for BRT. We are, because this could be developed quite rapidly. 2 of these corridors are starting construction next week. For strategy number 2, which is regulatory strengthening, there are 3 key focus areas. Number 1 is about developing the right policies and operating business models for our bus operators, because of, especially in outlying areas, low ridership, low fares translates into big operating gaps. So we have to develop the right incentives for these operators to keep at a certain service levels. Second is about fully migrating from vehicle-based licensing to operator-based licenses, of course with the right conditions and rules attached to them. Third is about enhancing our ability to monitor and enforce all these new regulations. Strategy number 3, service excellence. This is about bringing the standards of our operators from a very fragmented, small-scale enterprises towards becoming world-class operators. This will require a lot of rationalization as well as coaxing for them to merge and all that. Strategy number 4, collaborative planning and governance. This is about getting all the different government agencies to work together and working towards one common goal. This is about developing the frameworks and mechanisms. So in terms of challenges to get all these things done, I can think of 3 immediately. Number 1 is about funding, because currently all our projects are being funded directly from the consolidated funds, and we know that this cannot go on forever. So it's about maybe finding special taxes or levies specifically earmarked for public transport development fund, and also to find the right PPP structures to encourage private investments. And also, as I mentioned before, to find the right operating business model and the fare structures to encourage operators to behave. Second, because this is a new area for us, human capital to carry out these projects as well as policy reforms. This is a critical area and challenging for us right now. And third is about political will. It's easy to start, but it's also easy for politicians to lose their will along the way, especially when deal with land acquisitions and all that. So I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.